Yes, sir, you're audible.
I'm really sorry for some technical issues. So
No, that's fine.
shall we start? Hi, this is Saurabh Nirmal, a food blogger, reviewer, and influencer. I have completed my engineering in mathematics and computing from Delhi College of Engineering and MBA from the same, that is Delhi School of Management, that is also under DTU. I'm a passionate food connoisseur who started that Delhi foodie to take food lovers on a gourmet journey, trying out cuisines from across the world. I regularly share plenty of Insta photos, live cooking videos, honest reviews for my followers. Through my blogs, I hope to take all my followers on a culinary tour of Delhi rich food culture. These blogs are the bunch of local food experiences that are enough to satisfy every palate through my blogs. I try to represent the incredible and diverse food culture of the capital city of India, which is a paradise for the food enthusiast. The way food is grown and processed is based on its take, make, and waste. Repeated extraction and consumption has been given more emphasis with a little concern for the long-term picture. The process of food making that we currently follow creates enormous waste and consumes vast quantities of non-renewable input. It requires chemical fertilizers, pesticides, excessive antibiotics, and fossil fuels to grow and ship food around the world. It has enabled us to produce plenty amount of food, but is now costing us as individual and as a society. After energy production, livestock is the second highest contributor to the atmosphere altering gases such as methane, which is 20 times more poisonous than CO2. Nearly one fifth of all the greenhouse gases is generated by the livestock production, much more than the transportation. Livestock is also one of the best culprits in the land degradation, air and water pollution, water shortages, and the loss of biodiversity. And that's not all. There's more, like half of the antibiotics in the country are not administered to the people but to animals. You might be wondering, does what I eat have an impact on climate change and how exactly do we contribute to the global warming? So let me try to explain this serious issue in the simple terms. Yes, we are all responsible for it. Hard to believe, but it's true. Let's go through some facts. The world food system is responsible for about one quarter of the planet warming greenhouse gases that we humans generate each year. That includes raising and harvesting all the plant, animals, and animal products we eat. Mutton, chicken, fish, milk, lentils, vegetable, corn, and more. As well as the processing, packaging, and the shipping food to the markets all over the world. If you eat food, you're part of this system. Now, considering the way we contribute towards the global warming, while these are some numerous reasons, let us consider the top four. Number one is forests are cleared to make room for farm and livestock. This happens in some part of the world. Large stores of carbon are released into atmosphere, which heats up the planet. Second is when cows, sheep, and goats digest their food, they burp out the methane, another potent gas contributing to climate change. Animal manure and rice paddies are also big methane sources. Finally, fossil fuels are used to operate farm machinery, make fertilizer, and ship around the globe, all of which generate emissions. Now coming to how we can help our planet Earth. If you ask me, there's any simple food choice I can make that would reduce my climate footprint? Keep me in mind that the food consumption is often only a small fraction of a person's total carbon footprint. It also includes driving, flying, and home energy to use. But dietary changes are often one of the quickest way for many people to lighten the impact on the planet. Consuming less meat products will typically have the biggest impact on most of the wealthy countries. That doesn't necessarily mean going vegan. You might just eat less of these foods, which is the biggest climate footprints like lamb and cheese. But plant-based food like beans, pulses, grain, and soy tend to be the most climate-friendly option for them all. We can try to implement some measure as a society to improve these negative aspects regarding the food production and its consumption. Regenerative approaches to food production can be developed to enhance the environment rather than degrading it. A shift to a fundamentally different food system can be done that moves beyond simply reducing the food waste to designing out the concept of waste altogether. There are many ways to turn inedible food waste into valuable products like organic fertilizers, fabrics, and energy, thus developing an economic for materials and product based on it. From breakfast cereals to takeaway meals, most of what we consume now has been designed in some way that the food brands, retailers, food restaurants, schools, hospitals, and other providers under their influence, can the marketing of the healthier food product can be quickly spread. If the food is designed from the outset to be the part of a regenerative system, nutrients can be recycled all over again and again. Even uneaten food is never wasted but put to valuable use in fertilizer and nutritious food products. This in turn supports regenerative farming, producing more food without chemical, fertilizer, and pesticides. Thus, the system gets better and better over the time. So now the general excuse that we all give to ourselves is, "Am I just the tiny person in this huge world? How can I make the difference?" It may be, it may people if many people collectively made changes in their diets, then can start adding up to the great huge amount. Scientists have warned us that we will never need to cut down on agriculture climate impact in these years ahead if we want to get global warming under control, particularly as the world's population keep growing. For that to happen, farmers and producers will need to find, I think, need to find ways to curb their emissions and become more efficient, growing more food on less land to limit deforestation. I believe it would make a huge difference if the world's heaviest meat eaters scale back even moderately, helping to free up land to feed everyone. I think this is hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah. I think some of all right. That's all from my side.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was really informative. So now we're open for questions. So if anyone has questions, they can drop them in the chat box.
Yes.
So we're getting the questions from Insta Live. So just a second. Okay, sir. So first question, like, how has your experience been like blogging and all that? So how has it been like in Delhi? I'm sure you've traveled a lot.
Yes.
In Yeah. So how has it been? Do you want to like tell about it?
Yeah. So majority of the population in Delhi is is focused on the street food and the food practices that we are doing. So I think the blogging market is like very enormous. Just hold on, sir, for a second. I think there's some technical issue in my mic. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're
Yeah. So I'm saying there's a huge, enormous market of blogging in Delhi. We can say there's a lot of food option. As you know, there are many food lovers in Delhi also. So I think being into blogging is one of the best step that I've taken in my life, because for eating food is my passion, and working on it and tell others is like what I'm right now doing is very best for me.
That's really nice. And so apart from Delhi, have you explored any other state and how like Delhi is different from all of them? Like food size and
I think the food culture in India, even the language also, it changes every 500 kilometers. Like if you travel like 500 kilometers, everything changes. The food
that's
culture, the language, everything. So I've been to Amritsar, I've been to Mumbai, I've been to Nashik, I've been to Madurai, I've been to Orissa. So everything, there's the common thing in these states, like there are many food lovers, but you can have different flavors all over the world. And in the Indian cuisine is like very vast from any other thing. So I think everything should go and explore it.
okay. That's great. Thank you so much, sir. Any other questions? Okay, so we
Yes,
have
I have a question.
yeah.
Sir, so you travel a lot for your blogging. So
Yeah.
in the middle of this pandemic, how are you exactly managing to, keep that up? And how is it
So the thing
affecting you?
is, everything is affected by lockdown, right? By this pandemic and lockdown. Even
Yes.
even we can say so. Also, my food blogging is also affected. So I'm not supposed to travel again and again. So what currently in lockdown I started making own recipes videos and presenting them to my audience by some twists and turns, and making some adding other flavors so that they can try at their homes and enjoy with the family and friends. But yeah,
So
that's
can I ask, which is
all.
your favorite food?
My favorite food
Yes,
is
sir.
everything. I can eat
Is everything.
everything. Yeah, mostly I prefer street food because as you're connected to your like the roots, right? So I think the street food is the love for everyone.
So have you started
So true.
going out, like right now? Have you tried going out
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, I've been trying from last past 3 to 4 months because first of all, what I think the WHO announces that the this virus is not spreading through food. So then only I started exploring the street food also and making to be very honest, restaurants are the most affected during this pandemic.
Hmm.
So I'm helping
True.
them by creating them by doing their promotion and reaching out to my audience.
that's really nice, sir. It's very
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. I think that's all about the question. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
coming.
you so much, guys, for having me.
Thank you,
Thank you so
sir.
much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.
Bye bye.